welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa Alastuey, and on this channel, you will find a variety of inspirational and informational videos. Today, it is my honor to introduce our guest, which is Frank Catania, who is a former lawyer, an entrepreneur, and a reality star from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Welcome, Frank.
Good morning, Lisa. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Thank you for coming on. I sure do appreciate you.
My pleasure. Oh, my pleasure. Although I don't know if I'm a reality star. I may be on a reality show, but I don't know about being a star.
You're a star in my book. I think you're
Thank
one of
you.
the key people to watch on Real Housewives of New Jersey.
I'm the one that tries to keep it positive.
Yes, yes, and I love that about you. So let me just kind of back it up. What was your initial reaction when you first got asked to be on this show?
Yeah, I was surprised, first of all, because I'm no one's husband. I'm Dolores's ex-husband, and we have a very unique relationship as divorced parents, which is very, very close. All right. Not only that, but we're also best friends. So when I was asked to be on the show, when she was asked to be on the show, it just so happened that was such an integral part of her life still that more and more scenes included Dolores and I. And since the time she's been on the show, she's been through two boyfriends, and I'm still the ex-husband, and so I'm still on the show and I'm still enjoying it.
Yes, yes, you really are kind of a unique position because I think you're the only one that's an ex-husband, and that's a testament to y'all's relationship because you have a very amicable relationship, which is very positive for your kids. Can you touch on how you are able to keep that with your ex-wife?
Listen, as much as I'd like to take the credit for it, Lisa, that's Dolores. I was a divorce attorney. I came from divorced parents, and Dolores saw what I went through with respect to separate holidays, separate birthdays, you name it. All right. And although our marriage did not work out, and quite honestly, it was my fault, Dolores was still woman enough to say, you want to know something? I have an issue with what you did, but I'm not going to make our family or our children suffer because of it. And we are still going to be a family. And Dolores has said many, many times, she divorced me in order to keep our family together. So, and you gotta be honest, it's a testament to her because that's exactly what she has done. The other side of it is I am so happy that as a result of us being a family, me and Dolores have ended up being best friends as well.
Yeah, amazing. I give kudos to both of you guys, and I wish we would see more divorced parents work that way with their kids because that's the win-win situation.
100%, Lisa. It's not the kids. The kids had nothing to do with the divorce. Don't put them in it. And I got to be honest with you, my children have ended up great. Knock on wood. They're both. One's a veterinarian. One's on Wall Street. It's if you didn't know, you wouldn't know they were children from the divorced family.
Yes, yes. So how did they all handle it? Seeing you guys on TV and then watching it or not watching, I'm not sure if you even watch it. How do you have conversations around that as a family, being on this show and this drama and so forth?
Listen, my daughter has never been interested in being on the show. All right. She's on the show every once in a while, because she's part of our family. And, if we do something, family oriented, Dolores makes her go on. All right. My son used to be on the show more often, but because of my son's now his job, and being in the financial sector and being on Wall Street, any publicity is bad publicity. So it's basically, other than family dinners or all of us together, something nice. My children are pretty much, that's it. I think they're pretty much done.
Awesome. Awesome. That's so interesting. So let me ask you about like a typical day of filming for like viewers. How does that take place and what does it look like?
For me, it's a little bit different than the women on the show. The women are the stars of the show. All right. They are the ones during the season that we are filming that have a rigorous schedule. The guys themselves, the network is pretty amenable to our schedules because they know that we have real lives out there, I guess you would call it, and they work around our schedules. Unless it's something particular, they say, do me a favor, we're having something on this day, let's do your best. And, you know, without being nasty, you know, we know what's important to them and we try to accommodate them and be there. But as for the men on the show, it's not something that is stressful in order for us to work around our normal lives, because they do work with us. You know,
Okay.
it's unfortunately the show itself has become very stressful.
So do they say like, we're going to start filming from this date to this date, starting at 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then you know exactly when the
So
cameras are following you?
they'll say, hey, Frank, next Thursday, the 5th, or whatever the case may be, we have a scene 2 o'clock. We anticipate it to go to 5 o'clock. All right. And that's what they'll do. And sometimes it'll end up earlier, sometimes it'll end up later. They'll usually give you parameters as to what the scene's going to be about so that you can dress accordingly and, you know, that you know what's going on. They don't, it is not scripted. So, you know, other than the event that we know what's going on, and we know where we're going, we know who's going to be there. We're not told what to say. We're not, you know, there's nothing to that event. People ask me all the time whether it's real. And Lisa, I got to tell you something. My answer is, unfortunately, it is, because you know, we have people on the show that don't even talk, that are family members now, which is rough. You know, it's saddening. But you know, quite honestly, it is real. Yes, it is real. I wish it wasn't. I wish when the camera stopped that, you know, everything would go back to, you know, family love, but that's not the case.
Okay, so much to unpack there, because I was going to ask you, because every viewer wonders if these are scripted. You say it's not, but are the producers ever prompting or trying to create drama or giving you little tips? Maybe you should say this. Is any of that taking place?
Lisa, it's not so much that they put you in different scenarios and different situations where they know what the outcome is going to be. All right, they know what the outcome is going to be. They don't tell you, you know, this or that. They may give you a topic and say, hey, listen, this is what we want to talk about today. This is what we want to touch about. We want to touch about, you know, what happened last Tuesday at the girls' party, or so on and so forth. Okay, that's what they'll do. And depending on who's in the room, depending on what the subject matter is, Ray Charles can see what's going to happen. Okay, to put it bluntly.
Mm-hmm. So everybody kind of has already maybe predetermined answers or questions before they even come into the scene.
There's not so much answers. All right, they may tell us, hey, ask so and so this question, or ask so and so this question.
Okay.
You know, but it's not like we're given a script before any particular scene. During the scene, as we're going in one direction, you know, when the directors say, oh, yeah, do me a favor, continue on that, and ask them this. All right. But other than that, it's pretty much what you see is what you get.
Okay. And you talked about how it can fracture relationships and ruin relationships. We've seen a lot of drama on that franchise. Can you talk a little bit about the kind of the behind the scenes of all of that?
It's a shame. Our franchise this year, and myself and my fiance this year, Lisa, we tried to stay out of toxic scenes. All right, we have so many good things going on in our lives, and we really didn't want to be part of those toxic scenes. So that's why you didn't see us as much as you normally may have seen us, because there's certain parties that we didn't go to because we know it was going to happen. We try to do scenes that are nice, that are family, that are wholesome, that are funny. You know, that's what we try to do. But it's difficult. It's difficult because what you see is it's coming to a point now where the cast is splintered. You got two different sides, and generally, myself and my fiance and Dolores and Paulie are considered to be somewhat neutral. All right, so we're like the ones in between both sides. Everybody else is fractured to almost to the point where, you know, they won't even film together. And how do you have a reality show, especially a housewife show, where people won't film together? So that's why, as I'm sure people see on social media, as I've seen people have heard Andy say, there's going to be definitely a big change, a big turn as to what's going to happen with the franchise.
So if you were a producer, what would you like to see going forward, or how would you rectify the show, or would you just cancel it? I've heard rumors of people canceling the show.
I would do what I anticipate they're going to do. I'm not sure who. I suspect that they are going to be dropping off some people and bringing additional new people in, as well as keeping some people on the that are on the current characters in the show. but you can't continue the way we're doing it now, because right now it is basically two separate shows.
Right,
It
right.
is so splintered, where you got a reality show where, half the cast won't film together with the other half of the cast. I mean, how are you supposed to have a reality show
Right. Do you
with
see a
that?
spinoff for certain cast members?
I've seen spinoffs on everything these days. So I would never write that off for
Yeah.
sure. Listen,
One
I'm
one rumor is that, they're gonna fire Teresa, but she has such a storyline with Louis, that I would imagine if that happened, she would get a spinoff.
let me tell you, Louis sure as hell keeps the subject matter interesting. There's always something out there about Louis, one thing or another.
Yes, yes, he
Unless,
definitely keeps the viewers viewing, good or bad.
Teresa, I've heard the same thing as Teresa being asked to leave as opposed to being fired. But it's a shame because I see Teresa landing someplace, because Teresa across all the franchises is probably the most recognizable housewife in the world.
Yeah, she's a
Right?
big star in the reality world. Yeah.
She's been so much, and much, but it has become. Listen, she's changed. My opinion, she has changed since Louis been around.
Changed in what way?
Um, she's just not herself.
Okay.
That Not the Teresa I grew up with.
Right, right. Fair. That's
So,
a fair comment. Well, I hope that she finds, some peace going forward, with everything that's happening. Okay, so let me ask you a question also kind of about behind the scenes. Is there any like funny things that you would like to like maybe share with the audience that happens behind the scene that they may not be aware of?
there's so much that we do during our scenes, especially the guy scenes. The guy scenes, we're a little splintered as well, not by choice. I try to get along with everybody, but even the guys, for the first time in franchise history, is somewhat splintered. Okay, and it's not so much the guys; it's just a couple individuals. And when we do a guy scene, you see most of it on TV, but there's so much that you don't see when the guy scenes, because there's no boundaries, there's no borders. There's Lisa, let me tell you something. And you can go on social media and you'll hear, oh my God, why don't you guys act your age? Oh, how immature. Oh, this. You want to know something? That's what we're there for. And this is life. Right? Myself, Joe Gorga, Joe Beningo, we truly do. We have the outlook on life. Guys, we're here. We're lucky to be here. And people our age, unfortunately, are passing away every single day. And here, I wake up in the morning, as bad as my day may be, I'm still here and I'm grateful and I'm happy, And what you see on the show, the greatest compliment I always receive, and I love fans coming up to us. In the public, Lisa, I love fans coming up to us all the time. I will always make time for fans to talk to them, take pictures with them. And the nicest thing biggest compliment I ever have is, "Oh my God, you're just like you are in the show." That's what I am. That's the person I am. What you see in the show is exactly what you see in real life, and that's true for Dolores too. That's true for Dolores too. We are. And I try to be a nice person. I try to be. It's harder to be nasty to somebody. It. Takes more of an effort.
Yep,
And
and I
and,
love
and
that. It definitely translate what you are portraying online and meeting you here. It definitely translate. You're a nice guy, you're a funny guy, authentic guy. It comes through clearly from what I've seen.
listen. I don't know if we're allowed to curse here or not. But
Yeah,
this country's so fucked up right now. All right, it's so divided, and
yeah.
that's what makes us America. Different opinions, but you got to accept other people's opinions. You follow? Everybody. If we didn't have different opinions, it would be a boring place. But unfortunately, now you got people on the left, people on the right, who they don't accept each other's opinions. All right, and that's what the problem is. There's no middle ground anymore.
Right.
And, yeah, I'm just happy. Honestly, I really am happy. I may not understand some people's political positions. I may not understand some people's opinions on certain things, but you want to know something? That's your opinion. Who am I to tell you can't have that opinion? All right. I'm not gonna not like you. I'm not gonna not follow you on Instagram because of that. And I'll have people, you know, certain because of certain beliefs that I have on Instagram, done. I'm not following you no more. Okay, well, I don't even know. I don't even know you, so don't follow me because of one particular thing. And no, I'm not like that. I gotta be honest here. I'm not. And you know, you have certain political beliefs, you have certain other beliefs whatsoever. I may disagree with you. Doesn't mean you can't be my friend.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Like it's definitely weird times, especially with social media and being, access to a bunch of strangers and people thinking they know you via social media, which they don't. But yeah, we definitely need to, have a world where we can debate and have different opinions and not have such hurt feelings and people can still maintain good relationships.
100%. And
Yeah.
you touched upon. So this world is social media. All right. You know, the way I put it out there, and it's a shame because for the most part, social media, I find it to be very nice. I find it to be very nice.
Yep.
If I'm going through my social media and I'm scrolling down and Lisa, there's something I don't like on a particular post, I'll scroll on.
Right.
You will you will never see me initiate a negative comment on someone's post. You know, it just and the things that people say in negative comment, they don't bother me. And at first they used to bother me. In fact, my fiance, she's got very thin skin. You know, thank God she's getting much better now. People have the nastiest things to say for no reason whatsoever,
Right.
about stupidest things. I can be honest with you. We did a scene. We did a scene, myself and Brittany, together with my family and Dolores and Paulie. It was not this season, it was last season. And that was the time we were all at the dinner. And Brittany said something to Paulie because he has a very strong Irish accent, all right, about when did you learn how to speak English, all right? Which, listen, she got some comments, but it was fun. But do you believe that she got more negative comments and nasty comments about the fact that she ordered filet mignon well done?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are you, a
Wow.
you a jackass? Who orders filet mignon? I was like, do people really care about this?
Right, right. They got too much time on their hands to worry about that kind of stuff.
Social media has created what I call keyboard warriors. All
Right.
right. Everybody's a tough guy behind a keyboard. As Mike Tyson said, everyone's a tough guy until you get punched in the face.
Yep. Yep. That's absolutely true. So let me ask you about contracts and compensation, if you don't
Yes.
mind sharing a little bit with the audience on how that works for you. As I know you're not like one of the main stars, you're still a star, you still get paid. How does that work with your time? As far as like residuals, if there's reruns, do you get anything off of that? Can you share a little bit about that?
We don't want to say I don't have a contract. All right. With none of the men have contracts with Bravo. So we don't get paid. All right. The guys do not get paid for the show.
What?
No, what they do, my belief is they do not want to set a precedent of paying the men because then you're going to have other franchises as well, the men who are going to be looking to get compensated. Basically, what we do, the way I explain it is there's ancillary things, there's appearances, there's other things with Bravo that we do where we are compensated, and we're compensated quite well. But as for the show itself, we are not compensated. We do not have contracts with Bravo. Therefore, we are not under the restrictions that our wives and ex-wives are under. So that's why you'll see us say a lot more. We can say a lot more than of which the women are allowed to. But what we do is, if in fact we're good, like, we have, I consider a unique situation in New Jersey for the men. The men are much more involved in Jersey than the other franchises. And what that does is it increases the value of our respective other when they're negotiating a contract. All right. So, if you have a partner who, the fans like, if you have a partner who is interesting on TV, obviously that increases your value when you're negotiating as a woman with Bravo.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you mentioned that you do get compensated, like if you go to BravoCon or those types of things. The
Yeah.
reunion, you don't even get compensated, or do you?
We get compensated for the reunion, which there is none this year. All right.
Right.
Uh, we get compensated for BravoCon. We do appearances. They send us on appearances sometime, of which we get compensated for. We do other stuff on our own because of our appearance on the show that we get, some publicity where people ask us to make appearances that we get compensated for. So yeah, but directly from Bravo for the show, no, we don't get compensated.
Okay. What about spilling secrets? You're not contractually obligated to not say what happened at that storyline or before it happens or shows?
No, I am not contractually obligated, but if you spill a secret, your significant other is going to
Okay.
catch it. All right.
Okay.
So, all right. So
Yeah.
even though there's nothing isolating us from doing it, we know that if we open our mouths, all right, that
They're gonna
somebody
pay for it. Yeah.
on the other side who's going to come down at us and yell at us is going to get it from Bravo.
Okay. So for the housewives, what's the penalty for spilling secrets for them?
Yeah, they have different things. It's different. Women have different clauses, all right, in their contracts, all right, on that. But it's you would be defeating the entire purpose if you forecasted what's going to happen in an episode coming up, all right.
Right.
So obviously, not only with the Real Housewives of New Jersey, but Lisa, with respect to so many different shows, you're all required. Obviously, you're under a gag order, not to mention anything about the season, except certain things of which they allow you to do for publicity. All
Okay.
right, but when you're giving away, maybe some storylines is fine, but as to how it's going to end, you're defeating the whole purpose, and the network doesn't take it easy. They do not take that lightly.
Right. So would they sue the housewife or would they fine the housewife if she were to like skip the storyline?
Depending on her contract, Bravo is always very good. Bravo will not, my opinion, Bravo will never come and say, oh, you're under your contract, you're getting deducted X amount of dollars. Bravo will call you and say, hey, listen, don't do that again. All right. You did this, you said this on the podcast, you said this, blah, blah, don't do it again. If you continue to do it, all right, they are very understanding. They work with you. The last thing that they want to do is fine you. The last thing they want to do is take money out of your pocket. All right. But if you continue to ignore them, all right, then obviously they have to step up. But otherwise, on our show, I'm not saying it's never happened, but I'm not aware of anybody ever being penalized monetarily as a result of forecasting or giving up an episode or something like that.
Okay. So what about defamation and derogatory comments made from cast members to other cast members? Is there a clause where you can't sue the other one if they say something like, she's a bitch, she's a hoe, like all that stuff they say on TV?
No, there's no restrictions. There's no restrictions out of it. I think what you'd be doing is honestly, you would be curtailing what these reality shows are all about if you did that. All right. That's part of the show. That's
part of the show. So they know that going in, you're going to get defamed. There's going to be derogatory comments out there. They're going to dig up your past and they're going to put it out to the public.
100%. 100%. I mean, with my past, the one thing about my past is, Lisa, I will not deny anything in my past. All right. And it was sure as hell wasn't an angel. I don't consider myself to be, back in the day, as nearly the nicest person as I am now. And I've done many of things, but I live up to it. And I just make sure that, the people who truly mean something to me, they know about it before it ever comes out. Dolores caught, she caught a lot of shit on the show as a result of me being disbarred and not saying anything about it. And I think it was a reunion of which she was advised, and Dolores said, I didn't even know that. All right. I told Dolores I was going under, certain proceedings and everything else, but I did not tell Dolores when I specifically got disbarred. And the reason I do that, Lisa, I'm a man. All right. I'm a man and I feel a certain way. A man is responsible for his family to handle the stress in his family, especially if there is nothing that they can do about it. Why would I tell her? Why would I tell her if all she's going to do is stress about it? All she's going to do is worry about it, but there's nothing she can do about it. All right. If it's going to affect her, I would have told her, but I didn't want her to worry. It didn't affect our financial position as a family. So when people thought that she was not being forthcoming, when she said, I had no idea Frank got this board. No, I gotta be honest. She had no idea. I didn't tell her.
Right.
Right. And this was like honestly 3 weeks after I ended up getting the official disbarment on that. So no, it's interesting to say the least.
Yep. So do you still, since you have a law background, you did it for many years and it was mostly in divorce law, right?
I did everything. I did general. I was a prosecutor. I was a head prosecutor for the city of Hackensack for 5 years. I was a transactional attorney. I did criminal. I did divorce. You name it. I was a general. I specialized in real estate. So I did a lot. I guess you would call my practice a general practice.
Okay. Yes. And I mean, even though you've been disbarred, I would imagine those things that you learned as an attorney, as a lawyer, has definitely helped you with your future business's career, even being on this reality show.
I never, I've negotiated Dolores' contracts, right, Bravo. All my businesses, I represent myself. All
Mhm.
right. Yes, absolutely. It's giving you an insight. There's so many people who've gone to law school and have not become, let's say, lawyers, but have used a law school background in
Right.
order to help them in other avenues if they've chosen to go. And I ain't gonna be honest with you, being a lawyer has opened up many other avenues, whether it be in real estate, whether it be in this particular field, whether it be in this field. And I thank them for that. All right. Being a lawyer itself, I gotta be honest, I really didn't enjoy very much. All right. But being a prosecutor, I enjoyed very much. I was always fair, which is funny is when you're out, excuse me, especially in New Jersey, when you're out in public and somebody comes up to you, all right, and I have a horrible memory. I don't know if I'm just because I'm getting old or what the problem is, all right, and people come up and they say, "Oh, Frank, I don't know. I got to try to remember whether I know them from when I was in my youth, all right, did I go to school? Did I come across them as a prosecutor and they were a defendant, all right, or did they know me because of the show?" And but the one good thing which in my fiance sees it, which makes me very, very happy. I've had so many people come up to me and say to me, "Frank, blah, blah, blah." They say, "I can't thank you enough for giving me a chance when you're a prosecutor. You didn't put me in jail. You did believe me. And honestly, look at my life now. This is my family." And I tear up sometimes,
That's
and that
awesome.
and so I enjoy being a prosecutor. I was not one of those people where, oh, you're going, I want to put this person in jail. I want to put this. I try to see the good in everybody.
Mhm.
Some people, unfortunately, there is not, but uh, I've always, and that's why I live my life. I live my life that way.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk about some of the things that you do besides the reality TV. I know you've owned a gym, you've coached,
Yep.
you dabbled in the bodybuilding world, which I think is kind of fascinating. I've interviewed a couple bodybuilders on this channel, like Lee Priest and Frank Zane, and
Sure.
yeah, yeah. So can you tell me a little bit about how you got into bodybuilding? I mean, and you still are
Yeah.
very fit for your age, so I know this is like a passion for you.
I would say I played football. I played high school football. I played college football, and that transitioned into bodybuilding. I competed. My last time I competed was 2005. I've only been in 6 shows in my life, but at least I've never lost. I've always won my weight class. I've always won the overall, and I ended up getting an injury in 2005. All right, where a bad injury where I tore my pec, which basically ended my career. So I continued to work out. Along that way, I had become an attorney. Along that way, I had gotten into real estate. Along that way, while I was doing that, I also we have a construction company, a large construction company. All right, so all of that and the being in the gym and the dedication and discipline you have to have in the gym, it's just not trying to make your body look better. All right. Put aside that and the fact that the stress relief helps you tremendously. It shows you in the rest of your life, all right, discipline and just some kind of organization and everything else. And that's what I feel comfortable with. So, and I continue to do it. If I miss the gym for a couple of days, my stress levels go through the ceiling. All right. So we owned, I've owned several gyms. I've owned several powerhouse gyms. I've owned several Gold's gyms. We ended up selling them all before except one, which we ended up selling after COVID. Got out of that. We own Harley Davidson dealerships. All right. We have a construction company. And now my big thing is cannabis. I do cannabis now. So all facets of cannabis, whether it be retail, whether it be manufacturing, where we do all the infused products, cultivation, you name it. And that is my interest. And it is pretty much it has kept me very, very busy to say the least.
You're very, very busy. So you met your fiance through bodybuilding, is that correct?
Correct. I was her trainer. I was her trainer when she was quite young. I knew her for a while, and she did very, very well. And that was it. Next thing you know, that 10 years later, here we are.
Awesome,
So
awesome. What did she think about this whole, like, I don't know, public persona that you have with reality TV and have to do these filming? What is her thoughts on it all?
she's awesome. She really is. She's one of those people who, Lisa, she is happy all the time. When I truly tell you, the little things do not affect her. It really is. All right. She's one of those people where at the end of the day, I look forward to coming home because I had a miserable day. But then half an hour being home and she's got a smile on my face. That's just the type of person she is. She's always smiling. She's been on the show many a times. They have there's been some inkling about trying to bring her on, all right, as a housewife, and on her own without me saying it. She has said no. All right.
Really?
And she's young, so being her age that she is, and she said no. I was very happy that she said no. She said she's seen too many good relationships go bad because of it. The show, but she goes, I have no problem. I come on, make an appearance here. You know, I love to, be part of it, but no, I don't want that obligation of having to be a contracted housewife. Right?
Yeah, because
In public, she's
it's too stressful, right?
oh yeah, she's got thin skin. All right. But in public and at BravoCon and everywhere else, and when we go on vacation, you're always people coming up, and usually it's always women. My fiance is very, very secure, very secure. So
Awesome.
and she's good. I would never do anything to disrespect her, no matter what the situation is, because there's times, listen, we went to the Bahamas, and you get a group of women, and they've had some drinks. They're touchy feely. They're everything. So
Yep, yep. Well, that's so cool. And so when are you guys getting married?
November 9th.
Nice, nice. Well,
Okay.
congratulations.
Yeah. So this has been we built a house this year, moved in together this year. We have a wedding. We have helping with all the cannabis places. It's been a really busy, stressful, but busy and good year.
Yes, awesome, awesome. So one other thing have seen venture a comedy show with the men. Can you touch on that?
Sure. I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, we were asked to come to the Hard Rock in Atlantic City, which we did, and we were up there on comedy night, and it went very well. It was a great appearance. A lot of people showed up, and then at BravoCon in New York City, Joe Gorga, who does a comedy act, just put out there that I'm hosting it. I didn't even know it. I gotta be honest, that's Joe. Joe just so we were at Caroline's in the city, and I ended up going out before Joe for about 8 to 10 minutes, and I had the people laughing in their pants, pretty much at the as a result of me just busting Joe to no end. It was like a roast of Joe. So next thing you know, Harrah's, we are appearing in Harrah's on August 17th. Joe's comedy, I'm hosting it again. So this one's going to be even a little more fun because nothing's off limits. I come out, I host it, I'll do a little bit of a presentation, and nobody's off limits. I just hope at the end of the show, after I'm done, that anybody on the show will still talk to me because at least I'm roasting everybody, and nothing's off limits. All right.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Joe will put his out there, and then what we do is, which is very nice, and the fans like it, and I love it. Is we do a question and answer, all right, where they can ask us whatever, and quite honestly, and I've said it, there is nothing that's off limits. All right. Now you ask whatever, I am going to give you an answer. All right. I will give you an answer. If I have an answer and I know, all right, I will tell you, much to the dismay of some other people, maybe, but that's the way it is. I love our fans. And then afterwards, normally we do a meet and greet. It's a great time. I love spending time with our fans because quite honestly, this can be gone tomorrow. All right. This run of 8 years can be gone tomorrow. I'm enjoying it while I'm here. And without our fans, and I try to explain this to all of my castmates, without our fans, guys, we're nobody. All right. We're nobody. If you don't have a following, there's no show. So, if they want a picture, absolutely, and it's see people when you're done taking a picture with you and you see them walk away and they got such a smile on their face. I just love it. I do. I love that.
That's so awesome. I know not everybody likes their fans, but that's cool that you've had some good fans and didn't have any like stalking situations that, that can be pretty dangerous. So
yeah, we've had a few. We've had a
got a
few.
few stalkers.
I've gotten into, especially on social media, I've gotten into it with a lot of people who have some really nasty things to say. And rather than, and my girlfriend said to me, oh my God, she goes, I can't believe you do this. Rather than go back at them and tell them, oh my God, you're a scumbag, blah, 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 blah. I try to turn them by the end of the conversation with them, which may take an hour, may take, 12 messages back and forth. I gotta be honest with you. By the time they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You want to know something?" Yeah, and because guys, this world's too short, man. For everybody to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
negative. I said, "Why?" I said, "Why would you say that? You don't know me, all right? And I don't question your opinion. And this is why I feel this way, or this is why I help animals, or something like that, you know." And then by the time, and every single person except one, there's one person I still have not turned, but I'm still trying. Every single one, Lisa, has it by the end. I become very, very close with two of them, all right, who totally hated me at the beginning. Totally hated me. All right. Now I become very, very close with these two. And there were two women who basically thought I was a chauvinist pig, you know, who I talk to all the time now. And I consider them to be friends.
Wow, you have quite the patience, because most people would just be ignore, or whatever, delete, block, whatever.
You know, I care too much. As much as I don't care what people think about me,
Uh-huh.
I care too much about what people act like. All right.
Uh-huh.
And you can't make the world a better place, all by yourself. So you try to show people. And I wasn't always like this. 2007, my mom passed away, and it changed me.
Mhm.
Absolutely changed me.
How did
So
it change you?
it made me a better person. It made me, oh my God, it made me the person I am today. You know,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
it makes you realize what's really truly important. And
Mhm.
that's it. It makes you realize when you lose something. So no, I'm getting choked up now.
Oh,
That's it.
sorry. No, but it's profound. It's profound. I think anytime you have that loss and that grief, it teaches you something and teaches you to make something meaningful out of that grief.
Exactly right. Exactly. So life's too short, guys. It can be any day. And listen,
Yep.
God can call a number of yours anytime. Enjoy
Yep.
it while you do it. Oh my
Yep.
God.
Yep. Yep. And that's what I love watching this franchise. And I do love the relationships with the men, and that how you guys joke around, and you're not only taking it on screen, but off screen with like your comedy show and seeing wherever that goes. It would be great if that would be something that all your fans could watch. Is that going to be available?
I don't know if that's going to be available. We're still in the talks, believe it or not, for a show of our own.
Mhm.
Um, as to how many people in the cast that would include, I'm not sure, but it's not something which we're pushing. But we've got inquiries because it's an organic relationship.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yep.
not as if we prepare beforehand.
Right.
Right? It happens. Um, we were
That's
on
what makes
a
it great, because it's not forced.
yeah, we were on this past week. We're on Good Day New York. All right, with Rosanna Scotto and John Fuda. This was his first time on TV. Says us, okay, guys, do we need to prepare this and that? And the three of us said, no, let's just go there, man. We just wing it, and that's what happens. You
Yeah.
know, and it always ends up okay because I've known Joe Gorga for 30 some odd
And
years.
he's
You know,
hilarious.
yeah, Joe Beningo I've known for about 10 years and is a very close friend of mine. John Fuda I've known for a while. I used to be his attorney. So it's not like, they just throw us in a room with people you don't know. We've known each other and we know each other's backgrounds. So it's what you see is truly it is, and we are immature, And the thing
In
about
a good
my
way.
fiance, absolutely. My fiance said to me, so, oh my God, people tell you date an older man. All right, they're more mature. She goes, you are the most immature person I've ever dated in my life. And I'm proud of that.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That is the key, I think, to life, is having a good sense of humor. I always say the last thing I want to lose in life is my sense of humor. Like, you need to be
Right.
laughing all the way to the end.
You know it for sure. Enjoy it. You woke up this morning. You woke up this morning. It's a good day. Listen, shit happens during the day. I scream, I yell. I'm done. I'm done within 3 minutes. I'm done. And that's it. And I'm back to normal. I'm one of those people that reacts immediately. And I am your typical guy. I will scream, I will yell, but it's over. It's just over. I just get it out.
Mhm.
And it does. And I still have my secretaries that I have, all right, are three secretaries. The least that anyone's been with me is for 23 years. My one's been with me for 34 years, all right? And they know me, all right? And I've always, listen, I screen now, it goes in one ear and out the other, they could care less, all right? But I have a screensaver on my computer at work, and it's a little boy running, and he's crossing the finish line. He's going to be about maybe 5 years old. And he's got his hands up in the air, crossing the finish line with a big smile on his face, but he's got two prosthetic legs, all right? He's got two prosthetic legs and he's crossing it. And anytime I think to myself, wow, you want to know something? Oh, life's not going bad. I look at that picture. I said, fuck
Mhm.
this, Lisa. Who am I to complain? You
Yep.
know, I got it made, man. Put a smile on your face.
Yeah, you know, I think about like, because you're in the reality world, and like there's some luck in that, because not everybody gets to do that, right? And then you also have a network and you have opportunities that maybe like regular people don't have. Even with like the Housewives, how many businesses have they started be on the show, you know?
Sure.
Which I meant to ask you is, when they do start a business, does Bravo get some of that profit from their businesses since they started it on the show?
It's different with everybody. It's different with everybody. But there are some clauses, not only with Bravo, some other things. If a business is started sometimes while you're on the show, that they are entitled to certain revenue generated from that new business.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bravo seriously enforces that very much. Okay,
Mhm.
they never, with Dolores, they really haven't done much in that way. They're pretty good. I got to be honest with you, they are pretty good to work with. They're not bad. They're not bad at all. But some of them under their contracts, are they Bravo entitled to it? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because listen, you became a public figure. You got notoriety,
Mhm.
and for the show. So rightfully so. More important, we try to use that platform not so much to go out and get other things, because we've been blessed in life. We really have. Um, we use it as a platform. Dolores is huge. Dolores is really still goes to all of the homes in Patterson, which she did before the show for battered women. All right, for abuse. She still does that. She brings. Every time I go by Dolores's house, you'll see there's bags and bags of what appears to be garbage by her garage, of which people drop off at her house all the time, and which she brings to the shelters. In addition to that, we are absolutely huge animal lovers, and we use the platform. I think it was somewhere over 150 dogs now that Dolores has saved. All right, from euthanization. My daughter's a veterinarian, so we're all about adopt, don't shop, and we use that platform for that as well. All right, we use the platform for veterans. We try to use our platform for good things. The last year and a half, I try to use my platform, and it really has made a difference for teenage suicide and bullying in New
Mhm.
Jersey, of which I got to be honest, at least is such a huge. I didn't even know about it because you don't
Yeah.
hear about it all the time until I got involved in it. And
Mhm.
while it's here, I'm trying to use, and Dolores too. We try to use our platform to try to get some things done.
Yep, I
You
love
know,
that. I love her work with the breast cancer and her charity softball game.
that's it. Yeah, August 14th. We still got the softball game this August 14th again.
Okay.
Yep,
Whether
she's raised.
whether they're filming or not filming, that's happening.
Absolutely right. She still holds it. She's sold, I think, in excess of something like 3,200 tickets already.
Mhm.
So that's great. She's raised hundreds of thousands of dollars from Maimonides breast cancer. And that's a great relationship she's formed with them. And I gotta be honest, whether the show's here, whether the show's not here, that's Dolores. All right.
Yeah.
Like this year, the show's not filming. All right. We're
Mhm.
not filming August 14th, but Dolores still having a show. It has nothing to do with publicity, but she uses the publicity in order to basically be able to fundraise more.
Yep. That I wish more housewives would take, the same direction she does. I mean, that's like you said, using your platform for something beyond selling a cookbook or a fashion show and all this other kind of materialistic
You
stuff.
know it.
Yeah.
That 100%. And Dolores is very young when I met her. Dolores was only 19 when I met her, and but her and her family have taught me many things about how to be gracious, how to be. I still go all the holidays. We still spend it with our children. I always go by Dolores's house. All
Mhm.
right. And the thing is, I go by Dolores's house for Christmas. At least I walk in, and there's all these people. I have no idea who these people are. And I said, Dolores, who is that? So it's, oh, Frank, I saw him at the grocery store this morning, and they got nobody to spend Christmas with.
Aw,
So Dolores invites them over. And
amazing.
so you got people there. Although this year for Easter, me and Brittany go by Dolores's house, and obviously Paulie's there. All right. And Paulie's kids are there. And Paulie had a big issue of mine and Dolores's relationship when he first came on the show. All
Right.
right. Much better, Lisa. Much better now. All right. But not only were him and his kids at Dolores's for Easter, but Paulie's wife was at Dolores's.
Oh, okay.
And I came over and I said, oh my God, oh, things have changed, haven't they? Oh, yeah. And you know something, Paul, he said, Frank, you're right. I apologize. I was wrong. So,
Nice, nice. Well, I mean,
right?
you walk the walk, you talk the talk, so people can, take you
Yep.
serious, that you're showing them that this can be done.
Absolutely. It's got to be done. You know, you got to keep your families together.
Yeah.
And you got it, regardless. Dolores realized, I guess at the time, I was not a good husband. All right. But I
You
was a
own
good
it.
provider. I was a
Yeah.
good provider. And honestly, I was a good father. And that's my proudest title. All right. Listen, I don't know if you can see this. Since my kids were 4, all
Aw.
right, that's 22 years, number one dad. I don't take it off.
Nice, nice. Well, let me ask you a question since you brought up Polly. I don't want to get you in trouble here, but
Yep.
on the internet and people talk about Dolores, and that relationship and that he's not divorced and it's been many, many years. I'm not sure how many years. And people are wondering why he's not getting a divorce and why is she with a married man, quote unquote. I know they're separated.
Exactly. Paulie's been separated for many years. I think it's like 12, 14 years. All right. And I don't get into it because I got to be honest with you. Dolores is one of the smartest and brightest people I know. All right. Dolores is very, very street smart. Okay. And I said to her, she goes, I'm okay with it. I said, okay. And which people don't understand, Paulie has an incredible, incredible business. He's a great businessman. And he's got a very successful business. And when he started his business, his wife is a very, very integral part of that business. All right. From what I don't try to pry, I think she is basically the comptroller of the company. All right. And that's between Dolores and Paulie, and I'll leave it up to them. But even if he did get divorced, his wife, who I like very much, she's a very, very nice woman. Will always be part of it because she's an integral part of making that business being a successful business.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
listen,
So yeah.
Dolores if anybody can handle himself, it's Dolores. And I've known not if Dolores wants to talk about something, she'll talk about it. All right. If not, you try to pry, and she'll tell you to fuck off. All
Yeah,
right.
Dolores is a fan favorite. And trust me, I think a lot of her fans are just, looking out for her in the relationship, just want to make sure that she's good and she's obviously smart. I think there was one scene though where people wondered if Polly was a kind of like disrespectful to
Yes.
Dolores. Do you know which one I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And not only that, what I saw is that, and I didn't say nothing because I keep my nose out of it unless somebody asks. Paulie posted on Instagram an apology
Okay.
after that show.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think Paulie realized that he came off that negative. Okay. On TV. And that I can be honest with you, that's not Paulie. All right. That's not Paulie to be like that. So Dolores Dolores is a tough woman. She will not take shit. All right. I know Dolores will not take shit. So, if he's disrespectful to her, it's always going to be on the highway out of there.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Just, it's interesting because with reality TV, they'll take just like one
yes.
snapshot, they'll blow it up, and it's like that's the defining character of that person, when it just could have been a fleeting
Listen,
moment.
that's what gets viewers. That's what gets viewers. And I saw that scene. When I saw that, I said, "Oh." So I saw that, but I also know Dolores. That Dolores wants to talk about something, she'll talk about something.
Okay.
She's a tough woman. She's an incredible woman. She's nice. And I give you Dolores. Dolores is probably one of the people outside of the wedding that is the most excited about my wedding. All right. And it's a destination wedding of which obviously Dolores is coming, her entire family's coming, they're all my in-laws. So that's how close we are.
That is so awesome. 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 Okay. So let me ask you, why aren't they having the reunion?
Because to get everybody into one place like that, it would not be beneficial to anyone whatsoever. It's to the point where if they tried to have a reunion with Andy in the middle, you would get nowhere because they holler over one another. They don't let each other talk. Nobody wants to know the other one's opinion or position, and it's gotten so nasty to the point where this year you see it already happened. It's gotten physical, right? It's gotten physical, and liability purposes and everything else. And quite honestly, I don't think Andy wanted to deal with the bullshit. So what they did this year is they did a viewing party. They did 2 separate viewing parties, of which they will show you, of which each group is watching, being filmed, watching the final episode.
Okay.
Okay. I have not seen the final episode yet. All right. What we used to do is we used to be able to get the episodes a week early and watch them. And I'm not going to say who, but one of the cast members, from what I understand, when we got them, they would share them with somebody else. All right, with other people before it was aired. And back to the point where you said about the divulging information. So now they no longer give us the episodes beforehand. But I can assure you that the finale, it's just a culmination of exactly what this season was. And then they're going to have the next episode after that will be these 2 separate groups at the same time viewing the final episode, which it starts shit all over again as well. There's never a dull moment. All right. There's never a dull moment.
Right. Right.
And listen, half the times the scenes that I film, I lived it once, that's good for me. I'm not watching it again.
Right.
If it's a good scene, I'll watch it again. I don't feel like watching. Oh my God.
You lived it.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah. So I haven't seen the season finale yet. It hasn't come out, and I assume something violent happened. And so for the producers in the Bravo, like, that's not the show that they want to see happen, but it's happening. What type of things are in place to protect the cast members' physical and mental health? Or is there anything like that?
Oh no, 100%. All right. One thing which you don't see so much on the screen is there is always security there. All right. One thing that they are absolutely concerned about, and they've even come more now to the point where they've even limited the drinking. Okay, because not so much with our franchise with the drinking. Ours is more violence, all right? But there's liability. There's liability on everybody at that point. So they do. First of all, we got security all the time, and they're on top of it. They're on top of it. And you'll see any kind of a nasty scene, you'll see security jump in right away. All right, they'll jump in right away. There are some scenes of which they anticipate would be normal and quiet and nice scenes that they don't bring security in, end up turning violent. At that point, then it's
then cast members have to get it.
It's a free for all. It's a free for all. All right.
Yeah.
It's a free for all. And then this year, listen, in the past it's gotten violent with respect to the men. This year with the women. The one thing you don't want to do though, and the women who know Dolores, you don't want to push Dolores over the edge like that. All right. Because Dolores used to be a prison guard. All right. At least she's not somebody you want to fuck with. Unfortunately, I was on the other end of that for a couple of years when I wasn't such a good husband. All right, believe me, she's a tough ass girl. She is tough. She not only does she walk the walk, she can do the shit.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, it's not only New Jersey. I've seen physical fights of other women, like on Potomac. There was like some big ones there that took place. I'm just wondering, like, how do they navigate that? Because it's pretty traumatic, to get hit. And to also get hit on TV in front of people. I'm wondering if they provide any psychological support for, like right after that scene, like what happens?
Bravo usually is they got all the bases covered. They got all the bases covered. I don't know in Potomac exactly what happened there. Although I got to be honest, I'm good friends with Eddie Steffo down there, who's a very, very good guy. But up in Jersey, nobody would require any kind of help with respect to mental health, because even if there was an issue, I don't think anybody on Jersey would ever, be able to admit to it. All right, and seek help, which is a shame, because you God forbid, mental health is such a big issue these days. All right, but I don't think because the fact that it's a show, and the fact that it's being filmed, and the fact that the viewers are out there, all right, I don't believe that much of it carries over mentally beyond the particular scene itself. Okay. There may be grudges continuous, but I don't think it affects people much more than what you see on TV. But I gotta be honest with you, Bravo is equipped that in their event there is, that they absolutely have the support system behind it.
Okay. So what's happening next? Are people just waiting on contracts? How long is this wait? When do they expect to hear something?
After the season's over, after the new reunion, which is not so much a reunion, after that's done, there's going to be some decisions made, and I suspect that those decisions will be made pretty quickly, as to whether it's a total reboot, as to whether some people will be leaving, some people will be staying, as to any new members. Because I believe if in fact Jersey is still going to exist, and this is not based upon anything except my own feeling, that they'll probably start filming again sometime in November.
In November. Are they just waiting to see what the fans' reactions are to the season finale, to the preview parties? Like they want to see what response of the fans. Does that make an impact on their direction of what they're going to?
I don't, I don't have a definitive answer to that, but and again, this is my own personal opinion. I think Bravo's already made a decision.
Okay.
I think they already made a decision.
And it is, what do you think?
We don't know.
Okay.
We absolutely not. I don't know. It's there's two groups. Okay.
Mhm.
So I believe that there's some main characters of two groups, and then you have some ancillary characters of those groups. I believe one of those two groups, the main characters, are no longer going to be there.
Okay. Now,
I
is
would,
Andy the main decider of these decisions?
they're owned by NBC. Bravo's owned by NBC.
Mhm.
So honestly, as to who the hierarchy, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but if I was to say who makes that decision, my answer would probably be yeah, it's Andy. Who I
Mhm.
believe would have the final say. You know, Andy's created an incredible. Before Andy, there were no housewives.
Right.
This
Right.
is his baby. So I would anticipate that, listen, it's his baby, that he's going to end up being the one making the final say. And listen, I can be honest, like back when I was negotiating Dolores's contracts, all right, you're usually negotiating with the attorneys. You're usually negotiating with people over at NBC, until if there's some kind of a deadlock. All right. Like I've gotten calls when I see the call coming in from Andy, I know that that's the final day. This is my final offer. All right. Frank, do me a favor. Dolores still wants to be a housewife. This is what the deal is. All right. That's when Andy gets involved. All right. When shit gets serious, Andy's
Mhm.
involved.
Okay. So if they were to continue on with the franchise for another year, how many years do you think this has a life shelf? Or do you think it's in perpetuity with this type of formula?
It's going to be, listen, remember when the Housewives first started, there were only a couple franchises, and
Yep.
there weren't all the streaming. All right. Netflix wasn't here. None of them were here. All right. At that time.
Right.
So what happens is overall, the viewership goes down, naturally so, because there's so many different franchises. There's so many different streaming, but you're still looking at millions of viewers a week. So with that kind of number, I still think that they're going to be around a while. And it, you have to, I think that the show has to morph to what
Mhm.
the public is responding to it.
Right. Right. I mean, as the
So
public changes, there's, the public's humor, opinions, how they view society, that evolves. I would
yes,
assume that Housewives would have to evolve. It can't be the same old storylines that we've seen before, the same old fights. They need to come with some new material and how to make it fresh and interesting.
100%. I agree with you, Lisa. And that's exactly what I think they're looking to do this year. That's exactly what they're looking. It was really toxic. All right, really toxic. And the shame about it is, and I hate to say it, I was hoping that the viewership wouldn't be as high, so Bravo would see that the viewers don't want to see people fighting all the time, but but it was high. So if it's not broken, why are you fixing it?
Yeah.
But this year it's gotten to the point where listen, even though the viewership may be good, but it's gotten to the point where it can't continue like this, because there is going to be liability somewhere down the line if this continues, because it's only going to get worse.
Right, right. People love to watch a train wreck until the train actually wrecks. So
Exactly. It's like you say, it's a shame. It's like a car crash on the highway. And you're on the other side of the road. Yeah, everybody slows down to take a look. They
yeah,
got to see it.
yeah.
You
It'll
know,
be really interesting to see how it goes. Well,
we're
we're
all
getting
interested.
there. Say
Nobody,
again?
Lisa, nobody has any inkling. All right, like I talk to Dolores all the time. I talk to Margaret all the time. And nobody. The thing about it is nobody has been given a hint one way or another.
It's all part of the
So
plan, whatever the plan is.
you know it exactly right. Exactly.
Yep. Well, awesome. We're getting here toward the end. Is there anything like lasting final thoughts you want to share with the audience on anything with Real Housewives or you or your projects?
It's I just hope it ends up being um I've outlasted my stay here. All right. Every year I think I'm done and I get called to come back to do a couple other scenes. And I hope it continues. I hope it continues. You know, I love when people say, oh, Frank tries to be relevant for a paycheck. Sweetheart, there is no paycheck. Okay, there's no paycheck. I do it because I enjoy it. I really I do enjoy it. I like hanging out with the guys, and I just love being out in public and people coming up and taking a picture with you and smiling. All right.
And you're supporting Dolores, who
Oh,
supports the
100%.
kids.
Oh,
It's all full circle.
it is, and it's something good. You know, it's nice that I didn't realize we're divorced. It's nice that it's still something we do together, of which Paulie and Brittany are both involved with. Um, but that's it, you know. But that's why I've always, my entire life, I've always not just been a lawyer. I've had gyms, I've had construction companies, we had motorcycle dealerships. Because you want to know something? If something else drops off, that's why when I got this board and I lost my license, it didn't hurt us so much financially because I tried to diversify, and that's what I do. And now with the cannabis is a big thing now. So yeah, you continue to try to morph, and that's it. And I just stay happy, stay happy. I'm happy I woke up.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks, Frank. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your inspiration and information with us. I will continue to watch you and I hope to see your comedy special somehow, some way.
Yeah, you will. I'm sure it'll be on YouTube. I'm sure it'll be streaming someplace. It's stupid humor, but you want to know something? Yeah, you go in there. You know, you're not looking for mature individuals. All right, you're not coming there. It is not a space voyage where you're looking for informational stuff that's going to help your life. No, this is just a let loose. All right,
Yes.
unbutton your collar, let loose, and laugh. Stupid humor and have fun.
Have a good time, especially when life, it's so heavy. We need to have that levity. We need to escape sometimes. So I am all for it. So thank you for, contributing that part to, to the world.
You got it, Lisa. It was my pleasure, Lisa. I truly, truly enjoyed it.
Thank you, Frank. And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks,
Thanks,
Frank.
Lisa. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.